Alright, what's up guys? Brian here, and this is my Raw, Raw review. I'm not going to get a full review. I'm just going to get into some of the key points because there was a lot of stuff that happened on last night's Raw that I mean I'll go through like the segments and stuff that happened, but that's pretty much it. But some of the big things that happened, of course, Raw coming off the heels of No Mercy last Sunday. We had a Miz TV segment that opened Raw with Miz introducing Roman Reigns as his guest. Pretty much this was like a back and forth, segment to set up a match between these two for later on in the night. The Miztourage, they took on Jason Jordan and Matt Hardy. Jeff Hardy, who was in the corner of Matt and Jason Jordan, he is supposed to have shoulder surgery for a torn rotator cuff. So, I think that's what it was. They said he's going to have shoulder surgery this week, so he's going to be out for a while. Jordan and Hardy won, so that was a big victory for them. We had Elias defeating Apollo Crews, just like he did at the No Mercy kickoff. We had a Finn Balor promo. Kurt Hawkins in a match that didn't even take place, got destroyed by Braun Strowman. Strowman would then issue a challenge to anybody to come out and give him a fight, which was answered by the Lunatic Fringe and one half of the Raw Tag Team Champions, Dean Ambrose. We had a couple of segments involving Kurt Angle and Enzo Amore. Enzo, of course, the new Cruiserweight Champion, basically asked for a championship celebration. He then would ask later on in the night for a no contact rule, or a no contact clause, that if any of the Cruiserweights hit him or put a hand on him, that they'll lose any opportunity that they want at the Cruiserweight Championship. We had a Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins backstage segment that would lead to a match being made for next week between Braun Strowman and Seth Rollins. Rollins looking for revenge against Strowman for what Strowman did to Dean Ambrose when he defeated him earlier in the night. Let's see, what else? We had a Alexa Bliss and Mickie James segment. Obviously, this is going to be a feud for Alexa until Asuka gets her opportunity. We had Seth Rollins taking on Sheamus. Pretty good match. Can't complain about this match. They did recap how Cesaro lost his teeth during last Sunday's tag team title match, and he was at ringside with Sheamus. But Seth Rollins defeated Sheamus to, I don't know, build some momentum going into next week's match against Strowman. We had a Finn Balor Goldust backstage segment that ended with Goldust attacking Finn Balor and then setting up a match between these two. We had Roman Reigns defeating The Miz in a match. Afterwards, Miz and Miztourage would beat down Roman Reigns and basically end this segment with The Miz and the Miztourage doing the Shield fist bump. Obviously, there has been a lot of talking about the Shield reuniting all three members. So, I mean, I could see this happening. Rollins, Ambrose, and Reigns getting back together to take on the Miz and the Miztourage. They did it with this, and they also did it during the Miz TV segment, where Miz asked what would happen if the Miz and the Miztourage took on the Shield, that the Miztourage would beat down the Shield and stuff like that. What else? Finn Balor defeated Goldust, and then the creepy whole world kids, the creepy kid singing the whole world, or not creepy kid, but the where the song that they had playing in what was it a few years ago with Bray Wyatt having a kid singing "He's Got the Whole World in His Hand." That played after Finn Balor won, so obviously this feud between Wyatt and Finn Balor is not over yet. I don't understand why it's continuing on. Finn Balor defeated Bray Wyatt at SummerSlam as the Demon Balor, and then he defeated him on Sunday as Human Balor. So I don't see where they could go from here with this feud. We had a Sasha Banks Bayley backstage segment where they talked about what happened at No Mercy during the Fatal 5-Way. As I mentioned, that Kurt Angle and Enzo Amore segment where Enzo wanted the no contact clause. Sasha and Bayley defeated Nia Jax and Emma in a tag team match. They announced not only for next week's show in Denver that Seth Rollins is going to take on Braun Strowman, and that also Roman Reigns is going to be challenging The Miz for the Intercontinental Championship. So obviously that is two huge matches for next week's Raw. And then we had the championship celebration for Enzo Amore, who of course won the Cruiserweight Championship at No Mercy, defeating Neville in a very controversial way, especially the way Enzo won it, kicking below the belt, kicking Neville below the belt, I should say. And he came out, cut a promo, talked about how he is a star and that 205 Live is now getting attention because he's on there. The rest of the cruiserweights would come out. Enzo would start insulting them. Then Neville would come out. This would pretty much lead to Neville beating Enzo and just destroying him, then leaving him laying with the red arrow. So how is that? And they're doing this whole, they did the whole no contact clause storyline, so how is that going to play into this? Saying that if any cruiserweight, if Neville or any of the cruiserweights laid a finger on Enzo, they would forfeit their any opportunity they would want at the Cruiserweight Championship. So how is that going to affect tonight's 205 Live? I'm recording this video on Tuesday, the day after Raw. I was not able to watch all of Raw. I actually finished watching it just before I recorded this video. So that was pretty much it for Raw. My overall thoughts on Raw, I thought Raw was actually pretty good, coming off the heels of No Mercy. Lesnar wasn't there, of course. Probably won't be there for the next few pay-per-views, probably until the Royal Rumble. So I mean, it was, like I said, it was a pretty good show. There were some good things about Raw last night. But well, I actually thought it was a pretty good show. So, with that being said, if you guys watched Raw last night, let me know what you guys thought of it in the comments below. I thought it was a pretty good show. I didn't think it was a bad show, and I didn't think it was a great show. I thought it was a pretty good show. So, with that being said, we'll find out what happens next week. As far as those two huge matches are concerned, Reigns versus Miz and Strowman versus Rollins. So with that being said, this has been my I should say full show review of what took place on last night's Monday Night Raw. As always, I am Brian, and thank you for watching.